He that cannot ask cannot live.
Unquestionably, the referral system, or the referred lead, is one of the most successful prospecting methods ever developed. It's the simplest and most efficient way in the world to find new prospects. In brief, this is the way it's practiced. Every time you close a sale, you ask your customer for referrals, the names of several personal friends he can recommend as prospects. With the referral system, you never call on a complete stranger. Every new prospect is a personal friend of one of your old customers. Considering the unusual sales success I've enjoyed for a number of years using the referral system, I'm continually surprised to discover that all salesmen don't use it. The only reasons I can think of for a salesman not to ask for referred leads are either his timidity, the fear of being refused, or his excitement over the sale he's just made. In either case, he's making a serious mistake. He fails to realize that most of his customers want to help him. They're pleased and flattered when he asks for their assistance. It's inevitably true that if a particular product or service has pleased a customer, he'll want to share the same benefits with his friends. Despite this obvious truth, research proves that even better-than-average salesmen fail to ask for prospects' names in 42% of the cases where they closed a successful sale. And although others do ask for the prospects, in 65% of the cases, they fail to secure any new names. This is a tragedy. If a salesman isn't alert and skillful enough to get leads from a satisfied customer, he'll find it even more difficult to obtain them elsewhere. Undoubtedly, he has devoted a great deal of time and thought to his sales presentation. Unless he devotes even more thought and effort to his prospect presentation, he'll soon find himself out of business. There are countless ways to ask for names of prospects. One of my own prospect presentations, after I've closed the sale, goes something like this. I say, "Well, Mr. Smith, I want to thank you again for giving me your business. But I also have to tell you that I've just lost one of the most valuable possessions I've ever had." He asks, "What is it that I've lost?" I answer by saying, "You've just become a customer, so I've lost a prospect." Then I continue to develop the same line of thought by explaining, "You see, it's impossible for me to know everyone who might like to be a customer of mine. And whenever I lose a prospect, as I've just lost you, the only way I can replace him is with your help." If he doesn't respond to these statements or finds it difficult to think of any specific names, I prompt him with a series of leading or stimulator questions. I ask, "How about other members of your family, or the people with whom you do business, your lawyer, doctor? Maybe there's someone you work with right here in the same office." Sometimes a customer will fail to respond, not because he can't think of any names, but because he's unconsciously rating them in his own mind and has decided they're not worth mentioning. Encourage him to give you all the names he can think of. Then you'll rate them together. If you close a sale with a prospect who is a referred lead and fail to get additional names, the trouble may be your appearance, your method of approach, your presentation, or your failure to establish a friendly relationship. He may even tell you he doesn't think they would be interested. You can easily meet this objection by saying, "You weren't interested either the first time I called on you." Stimulator questions or similar inquiries will trigger his memory, and he'll begin to suggest the names of prospects. Write them all down and then guarantee immediate action by asking, "Whom would you suggest I see first?" This kind of prospect presentation has proved to be almost 100% effective for me. Alter it in any way you choose to fit your own individual personality, but use it and keep prospecting.
The Big Triangle.
We've been discussing the various ways of how to prospect. Now let's consider the prospects themselves and how they can be classified. Although specific cases may indicate slight modification, good prospects can generally be divided into 3 distinct groups, or sides. It's like a big triangle, and each side is equally important. When a prospector neglects any one of the 3 sides, he's only cheating himself. Side number 1, new prospects. So far, in the different bands which make up this recording, we've concerned ourselves more with the new prospects than any other kind. There's no denying their importance. They are a prime consideration. Unless a salesman consistently adds to his prospect list, he's heading for oblivion. He can, of course, live for a while with just old friends and old customers, but sooner or later he must find an active source for new business. Side number 2, past customers. The majority of the people who form this side of the triangle didn't choose that classification for themselves. They were forced into the past tense by a salesman's neglect. Many of them are simply waiting for you to extend an invitation to become active again. And don't forget, you may find it just as profitable to revive an inactive customer as it is to discover a new one. Side number 3 of the big triangle consists of your present customers or clients. If it seems odd to class your present customers or clients as prospects, think about it for a moment. If you can persuade the customer who's buying from you now to buy more, he's just as valuable as a new customer. Make it a point of serving every customer twice as well, and you can double his value. These, then, are the 3 sides or groups in which your prospects can be classed, and it is upon them individually and collectively that your success as a salesman increases or decreases. Take care of the triangle. It's your geometric pattern for success, especially side number 1, the new prospects. Here are some additional reminders to increase the strength of that side. Investigate these contacts. All of the people you knew in a former job you held. Some of the friends you haven't thought about for years. Your classmates in grade school, high school, or college. People you knew through mutual interest in a hobby, bowling, baseball, hunting, or golf. The people with whom you're associated in charity drives or civic organizations. The people who serve your home or apartment with public utilities. The man who reads the gas meter or the workman who repairs furniture. Your neighborhood service station is staffed with several people you probably know very well. The owner, the mechanic, or the gas pump attendant. And finally, your doctor, your banker, your grocer, or possibly a fellow church member. Resolve now to see and talk to as many of these people as you can. Get to know them. Cultivate them. Change their ratings in your card file from suspects to prospects to customers to centers of influence. Prospecting is just like breathing. We must do it all the time. Every day, every hour, and every minute, or we'll never survive. When you get up in the morning, repeat this thought to yourself. I'm going to meet and talk to at least 3 new people today. I know they'll become my friends, my prospects, and my customers.
The magic of the prospect box.
A good prospect file is worth its weight in diamonds. Until just a few years ago, it was an annual custom in several Oriental countries for the people to demonstrate their loyalty to the king by matching his weight in diamonds. Your prospect file is the king of your business realm, and the prospects it contains are just as anxious as the Orientals to match its weight in diamonds. All they're waiting for is for you to show them how. In the booklet which accompanies this album, you'll find a detailed illustration of the prospect box. Examine it carefully and pay particular attention as to how the dividers are arranged. You'll notice that under the principal month divider, in the illustration it's September, there are subdividers lettered Best Prospects, Day Calls, and Referred Leads. Also, immediately back of the month divider, there are the first, second, third, and fourth weekly dividers. These divisions are in their present order because just prior to the close of the preceding month, August, I rotated all of the September file cards into their current position. I filed them under their specific headings. For example, calls to be made during the first, second, third, or fourth week of the month, according to the information I had previously written on each individual card. In this way, at the beginning of each month, my best prospects are brought into the sharpest focus possible. With their names and accompanying data before me, I can easily recapture the spirit of my original contact, even though it was made several months ago, and regenerate my enthusiasm for consummating the sale. When the current month is finished, I will again rotate the file. Move the present monthly divider to the rear. This will automatically bring the next month, in the illustration October, to the front of the box. The process continues in the same fashion all through the year. As you know, each prospect's card contains not only personal data, which enables me to determine a realistic rating, but also the specific month, week, and day of a callback appointment. These important dates are indicated for any one of several reasons. Many times when I first contact a prospect, he tells me that he cannot buy because his income is governed by his seasonal business. A good example is a man in the soft drink business. Naturally, his trade and his income are larger during the warmer summer months of the year. If my original introduction to him is during the winter, he will in all probability say something like, "See me sometime next summer when business is better." Under those conditions, I ask what specific month and week would be most convenient. Then I indicate that information on his card and file it under the specific heading, even though it is months ahead. The same principle would apply in reverse to the income of a prospect whose business is better during the winter than the summer months. You'll recall that in Band 5, on the other side of this recording, I mentioned the use of a weekly work organizer in conjunction with my prospect file. Since every type of organizer is made up of several compartments that will hold an entire week's supply of appointments, I keep it filled at all times with prospect cards that are currently indicated. With this system, I know exactly who I'm going to see every day, every week, and for months ahead. The careless salesman depends on his memory, a rather unreliable source of facts. The master salesman, because he knows the priceless value of self-organization, depends on his prospect file. That's the reason he is a master salesman. Your prospect file box is indeed worth its weight in diamonds. I've personally proved that fact time and time again. Just a few years ago in Florida, I sold $1 million worth of life insurance in one 30-day period. How? By the care, cultivation, and careful attention to my prospect box.